Let's just cross our fingers and just message if it does.
So far, so good.
Okay.
Sarah, did you reach out to Haran? I noticed that she's not here yet.
Yeah, I'll text Haran. Are we ready to open or are we still testing some tech here?
I think we're ready.
Okay, so Patrick, you want to go ahead and let people in and I'll text Haran.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started in a few minutes. If you want to chat your name and where you're joining us from, if you're joining us from a specific neighborhood, a ward in DC or somewhere else, that would be great.
Hi, Haran. Can you just make sure that your mic is working? You could unmute yourself and do an audio check.
Hey, Patrick. Good evening, everyone. I think it is working. If you can hear me.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Thank you, my dear.
Jesus have Christ.
Good evening, everyone. It's a couple minutes till 6 and we will wait a few more minutes as people join us before we begin. Good evening. I'm watching people stream into the room. It's so nice to see everybody. It is 6:01. I'm going to just wait maybe one more minute.
You got all the fun people. Yeah.
I was just going to say, Sharon's here. Now we can start.
Now the
No, we
party's
can't
here.
start without everybody else. This is the fun of it. You get to meet new people. Yow.
All right, I think we have begun. So let me just welcome you all. I am Sarah Gordon. I'm curator at the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities and curator of the exhibition Our City Ourselves, Women Photograph Washington. Welcome to the closing event for this exhibition. A few technical notes, as always, before we get started. Attendees, I believe when you enter, you are on mute, but we do encourage your participation throughout tonight's event. And I'll give you a little sense of how things are going to go. We'll start with a brief tour of the virtual exhibition. We will then see some of the fantastic photographs that have been posted and shared as part of our hashtag #OurCityCAH photo share that ran in tandem with the exhibition. We'll hear from some of those photographers, and then we'll be joined by representatives from 6 different local photo organizations talking about how to get involved, even more involved with photography in DC. So as we go through these different parts of the evening, we are going to ask you to speak out, to give your thoughts, your questions, and we really want this to be a community event, resource sharing, and just lots of discussion. You can either use your raise hand feature, which is next to your name in the participant list if you want to speak aloud, or you're welcome to put your questions or comments in the chat. And lastly, we are being recorded, and so this will be available for viewing after tonight. And with that, I want to turn it over to Haran Sergi-Burhan. She is our executive director, and she will offer a few opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and good evening, everyone. What a pleasure to be here with you tonight. My name is Haran Sergi-Burhan. I serve as the Executive Director of the DC Commission on Arts and Humanities. I feel the energy in the room. Thank you just for sharing your energies with us tonight. We're celebrating the close of the exhibition Our City Ourselves, Women Photograph Washington, which features, as Sarah mentioned, photographs of the district from our entire art bank collection. And as you all know, and as you know, I've been following this on social media, but the exhibition has been touching many, many people. It features 25 photographers with works in our art bank collection, and over 100 people have already attended the opening event, and over 600 visitors have viewed the virtual exhibition. Honestly, if there's one good thing that came out of this crazy COVID period is how far and wide this virtual programming has allowed us to share our images and our artists' works locally, nationally, internationally. So that's really exciting to note. Also, the exhibition has been amplified by the social media photo shares throughout the run of the show. Dozens of images. I've been just liking and loving and hearting all of the images on Instagram that have been taken throughout Washington, D.C., throughout all 8 wards, and that have been shared with the hashtag #OurCityCAH. Tonight, we're happy to share some of the images and also hear from a few of the many organizations that keep photography alive and exciting in the district. I see some folks queuing up their cameras as we speak. Many thanks go to Roshani Kothari, whose photographs are featured in this exhibition, for her inspiration and dedication to the photo share and just her masterly organization of tonight's events. I'd also like to acknowledge our chair, Kay Kindle, chair of the DC Arts Commission, our commissioner, Alma Gates, who's our Public Art Committee chair, and the rest of the board for their continued support of arts and culture in the District of Columbia. And of course, a huge thank you to our resident curator, Sarah Gordon, for all the brilliant and tireless work that she puts into this exhibition and every exhibition, and our public art team, some of whom may seem invisible tonight, but who are present and always in support of each other to put together these good, excellent programs. Thank you so much. I'll stop there, and I look forward to sharing the evening with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Haran. Thanks so much for your comments and for your support of this exhibition and your general vision of CAH as an engaged and equitable arts agency. I want to also express appreciation to our public art manager, Lauren Dugas Glover. She's attending another CAH event tonight. We're very busy. And also Vanessa Ackham, who is here tonight and is assuring that everything runs smoothly. And of course, I can't thank enough Patrick Realiza, who is our tech guru. I don't think that's his official title, but it probably should be. All right, so I want to spend a couple of minutes now taking you through the exhibition, Our City Ourselves. This is the eve of the closing of the exhibition. So after tonight, you can still get on tomorrow and explore the exhibition on your own, which I hope you will do. Vanessa, if you want to maybe once again drop the link to the exhibition website in the chat, then you'll all have the link for where you can see it yourself. Just as by way of introduction, this exhibition is really a celebration of women photographers who have photographed in the district for the past 40 or so years. As everyone here tonight knows, DC is a city of photographers. We have photojournalists, fine artists, fashion photographers, and lots of locals and also tourists who are in and around the city with their cameras. The exhibition features 25 women photographers who have captured the heart and soul of the district. All 52 photographs in the exhibition are from the district's Art Bank collection. I want to give a shout out tonight to some of the photographers who I believe are here with us. This includes Kate McDonald, Lynn Kanaski, Susanna Robb, Heidi Nielsen, Roxana Geffen, Sharon Farmer, and of course, Roshni Kathari, who organized the event, and I'll give her a longer introduction in a few minutes. Any of you photographers who are featured in the show, if you want to say a few words after I do the tour, you are more than welcome. You can gather your thoughts for the next few minutes and then share them with us. Those of you who were here for the opening event know that I did a tour then. And lucky for you, I'm doing a different tour tonight, so you'll get a whole new view of the exhibition. Because tonight is really focused on community and on community sharing, I'm going to focus the exhibition tour on the works of art that really highlight a sense of community here in DC. So let me share the screen. Haran, give me a thumbs up if you're seeing the gallery. Thank you. All right, so this is our virtual gallery, which if you've been to our actual gallery, you know that it looks exactly like it. So for some of us, it's really nice to see this. And the exhibition is organized in 3 sections. The first is the heart and soul of the city. And this section features pictures of things like music and sports and community gatherings. Also, some of the men and women that power the city, including workers, parents, artists, and political icons. And I will start tonight with the picture that was featured on some of the materials for tonight's event, and it's by Susan Muniak. It is a picture from 1993 of Cardozo High School football team. Muniak spent quite a bit of time at Cardozo High School. She got to know some of the staff members, and she spent time photographing the life of the students and the staff. And then on graduation day in 1993, she waited in the wings of the auditorium, and she caught this shot as the high school football team took the stage. I think especially right now in our season of graduations and some of us missing this kind of school community because of COVID limitations, this picture really strikes a really nice note. All right, the next piece I want to talk about is Sharon Farmers. And Sharon, if you want to say more about this after this tour, you're welcome to. This is It's an untitled piece, but it's a picture of a small musical gathering at the Islander Caribbean Restaurant and Lounge on Columbia Road. The woman who's playing the tambourine is the owner of the restaurant, Addie Green, and her son Daryl is playing the conga. And this is just kind of a spontaneous and really jubilant expression of their West Indian heritage. As you can see, there are lots of fantastic pictures that I'm having to zoom past tonight, but again, I encourage you to take a look before the exhibition closes. These are two pieces by Alexandra Silverthorne. On the left is, I think on the left is DuPont Circle, and on the right is Malcolm X Park. In 2005, Silverthorne photographed parks in all 8 wards of the district, just as a way to kind of document places where people gather, where neighbors come together, where children play. Meridian Hill Park, which is also known as Malcolm X Park, represents Ward 1, and DuPont Circle, Ward 2. And so this is a really nice kind of portrait of these different spots in the city where people come to experience a little reprieve, to put their feet in the water, to sit in the sun. I kind of also love these two because they show these very young children with the adults a little bit at a distance, giving them some space. Okay, these are two pictures by Tatiana Gulenkina, Diriki and Jonas. These are both from a series called the Imprints series. And some of you will probably recognize this technique. It's a cyanotype process where the iron salts are used rather than silver salts in the development process, and that produces this blue coloration. Gulenkina also kind of subjected these prints to the natural elements. And so you see this, you know, these kind of creases and crinkles and almost looks like drips. And this is kind of just her way of playing around with the materiality of the photographs themselves, and also sort of the susceptibility of photographic memories. For this project, she, as a female photographer, was photographing only male subjects. And also, as some of you I think are noting in the chat, you might know these guys. They are both local street and documentary photographers. So this is kind of a neat way in which the photographic community is you know, making artworks out of themselves and their own relationships with one another. Oops. And then I want to also revisit, oops. I want to revisit a piece that I did talk about at the opening reception, and that's this series of photographs by Peggy Fleming. These photographs were taken at the Capitol Checkers Club in from 2007 to 2010. The Capitol Checkers Club was founded in 1985, so it's been around for many years. One of the founders is on the lower left. That's Talmadge Roberts. He was here at our opening. He, I believe, is in his 90s right now. And when I talked about this piece at the opening event, I noted that it had been in the news because their lease, they had lost their lease because their building on S Street Northwest was sold. And the good news is that just a week or so ago, they found a new spot in Adams Morgan. They'll be sharing a building with the Higher Achievement, which is an after-school mentoring organization. So this is just an example of, you know, community opening up to offer another group a space. And it sounds like it's going to be a really amazing partnership between these two groups. All right, so moving into the second section of the exhibition. This portion of the exhibition looks at city streets, bridges, metro, basically the infrastructure of the city, but also how we inhabit the infrastructure of the city. So there are pictures of the metro, people in the metro, people under bridges. The picture I want to look at tonight is this piece by Lely Constantinople. It's called Welcome to Mike's from 2016. Constantinople is really interested in sort of the visual language of the city, and that includes handmade signage, small-scale graffiti, corner stores, carryouts, barber shops, churches, auto body shops. And what she writes about these sort of neighborhood locations that she comes across is, and I'm going to quote her here, there's something about, excuse me, there's something about the anchor weight of a barber shop or a corner store that exemplifies the organic vigor and strength of a community, even if, and perhaps especially if, it is only specific to a few city blocks. So these are just the places, you know, that you kind of see everywhere, but are also just completely unique. So I want to look at these two pieces in part because these are the pieces of Roshini's that are featured in the exhibition, our organizer tonight. These are two photographs of architecture. This is the architecture that we live with in DC. On the right is the iconic architecture, the very geometric modern architecture of the East Building of the National Gallery of Art by I.M. Pei. And then on the left is a building in DuPont Circle that shows kind of the diversity of architectural styles in DuPont Circle, the juxtaposition of geometric modern brick and a more decorative sort of Baroque style. And what's interesting about this picture is the project that it was part of was one where Roshini worked with 4 other photographers to explore the diversity and the heritage of DuPont Circle. So again, sort of like the Gulankina project, it was different photographers working together to really explore the city. And then the third and final section of the exhibition focuses on natural beauty. The gardens, the arboretum, the boathouses and parks throughout the district, these places where nature is offered to us even in and among the kind of busy urban existence that we experience in DC. And it's really important and beautiful to have these places. This is a piece by Maggie Naus, the National Arboretum from 2000. It was shot with a Holga camera, and some of you probably are familiar with this. It's sort of an inexpensive plastic camera that is sort of low fidelity, and a lot of photographers like to play around with that. She achieved these sort of dark, irregular edges by filing out the opening of the camera's negative carrier. So for you, those of you that work in film cameras, you know, you might be interested to kind of hear this technique that she was using. And she took the photograph at the Arboretum with a group of students from the field school who she was instructing. So, you know, you see this beautiful open space. There's a bench in the middle that's so inviting, but still offers this feeling of kind of solitude and contemplation in nature. But at the same time, these gardens and these natural places are offering opportunities for teaching and learning and a real sense of community. So that is tonight's tour of the exhibition. I will stop sharing. And again, I encourage you to check it out. And I'm happy to hear either from the photographers in the show or from anybody else who might have a question or a comment about anything that you just saw. Sharon, I think I just requested you to unmute your, oh, there you go.
I think that anything that does art brings us all together. I'm seeing faces I've seen before in a distance, but not up close like this. So I look forward to COVID being over, but this is a good start. It's like science fiction coming real because you can actually be together, see each other on the screen like we're on the Starship Enterprise, and you can see the work. So I look forward to more virtual galleries because it just says if you can't physically be president, be you handicapped or you can't get out, you can still get to the exhibit.
Yes, thank you for saying that, Sharon. And I know that Joe had asked in the comments, are these images actually printed and hung on the wall of the gallery? And they're not. As Sharon said, no, it's totally virtual, very sci-fi. And as Haran said before as well, this has been one silver lining of this pandemic is that so many museums and galleries have added virtual elements that really increase access to these exhibitions. With this exhibition in particular, we had initially planned that it would be on the walls in the gallery because it was in the planning stages before the pandemic. And when we did make that plan, we were limited as far as what we could include based on what we had in storage. As some of you know, but maybe not all, our art bank collection, the vast majority is out on view in agency buildings across the district. So we didn't necessarily want to go start pulling things off walls to include in an exhibition. So we really tried to focus on what we had in storage. Once we decided it would be only virtual, we thought, well, we could cheat a little. We can put something in this gallery that maybe is hanging somewhere else. And so, you know, it's kind of a funny concept to play around with, and we'll see how these things evolve. But yes, I think that after this pandemic is, you know, I don't know, over or sort of wound down and galleries reopen, we will continue to utilize these virtual platforms that we've started to use. Oh, there's a review in the city paper today. I did not know that. Wonderful. Other questions or comments about the exhibition? Sharon, you're still on. I see you waving your hand.
Yeah, because you got Joe Newman up here who's got Focus on the Story coming. And they shoot a lot of Washington, D.C. A lot of photographers are from Washington. And he should talk about how people come together because he knows he invented something nobody was doing. And anytime you're an innovator in the arts, you get an A+ from me because we are so used to the old time BS. All of this is just thrilling.
Sharon, you're getting ahead of us because Joe is definitely speaking tonight. So I think we'll segue into the next part of tonight's event, which is that I'll turn it over to Roshni after I introduce her, and we're going to talk about the community photo share, and then we'll have the photo organizations speak about what they're doing. I want to just mention, Sally also just posted in the chat that the art bank, yes, the art bank, we have what's called an e-museum, which is the online portal that features all of our art bank works. And if you visit that, you can search artworks and it will show you where they're hanging. So it might be in your council member's office. It might be in the Department of Public Works. And there are a lot of them in the Wilson building. And so, yes, after things start opening up again, you can go and see a lot of these artworks. Vanessa, maybe if you're able to, you could drop the e-museum link in the chat.
Working on that now, Sarah.
Thank you. So while you're doing that, I would love to introduce Roshni, who has brilliantly sort of conceived of and organized this whole photo share over the past month and a half and tonight's event. Originally from India, she is a global nomad at heart and fell in love with and established roots in DC in the mid-90s. She's traveled to over 30 countries and her photo exhibits have included images from Bolivia, Brazil, Cuba, El Salvador, Ethiopia, India, Israel, South Africa, and more. I wish I had been in your suitcase. Closer to home, she's explored DC neighborhoods by foot, bus, and metro. And you might come across her images at Teaism in DuPont Circle and Lafayette Park, or at Artomatic over the years. Prior to the pandemic, she was organizing community photography and garden walks in her neighborhood in Petworth. I really hope that that happens again in the near future. She's also passionate about environmental issues and digital technology, and she works as the Technology and Digital Operations Director at Plastic Pollution Coalition. Roshni, I am turning it over to you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's been an honor to work with you and be part of this exhibit and work with all of the photography organizations in DC. I think the goal with this event was not only to involve the community and shine a spotlight on photographers in DC, but also the great work that organizations are doing. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to share a brief slideshow of 20 photographers' photos they shared with the hashtag #RCityCAH. And feel free to, some of the photographers are with us this evening, so feel free to share your questions in the chat for some of the photographers, and hopefully they can also share with you all some background about the photos in the slideshow, and we'll go from there. So let me just pull up the slideshow.
I am not seeing the slideshow, but I don't know if everyone else is.
I can hear it, but I can't see anything.
Okay, let me start again. Just 1 second. Okay, I'm going to pause there for a second, and we did do a test run before, but that's how tech works. Just a minute, let me see if I can start again. And please confirm if you all can see the video. Can you guys see my screen? Before I continue, can you all confirm whether you can see my screen?
We're seeing your screen, but not the video. We're seeing kind of
Not the video.
desktop.
Okay. Great. Let me just stop sharing here. And we may need to figure out another way to share the video because I'm pulling up the video, but it's not, doesn't seem to be playing.
Do you want me to try sharing it, Roshni?
That would be great.
Got it.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing the video, Sarah. Apologies for the technical difficulties. I think we have some of the photographers with us tonight. If you all would like to unmute yourself, put yourself on video, that would be great. I think Denise, I don't know if you're here with us. If you
I'm
want to share
here.
great. If you want to share a little bit about the first photo that
Hi,
that was
Roshi.
featured in the video.
It was
And
the first
we'll share
one.
the link to the video for those of you all who could not see the video. We'll share the link afterwards.
Excellent. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the invitation to participate amongst the beautiful photographs that the women put up this year. I'm still very giddy about it. Instagram, that was a shot. My name is Denise Seals. I'm a videographer and teaching artist. The commission handle is Media Arts Educator. That was one of my classes from summer camp at Shaw Community Center. And I was telling Rush it was about 1,000 degrees out that afternoon. But you know, the kids are indoors with air conditioning. My summer camp wasn't like that. We went indoors to eat and sleep, and that was it. So I enter the room, and we'll have to go out and get some fresh air. And I believe the tag was sometimes you have to remove the ceiling in order to soar. And although they complained about it being hot, by the time we made it around the block, someone said, let's race. Oh, and it was hot, but the children just tore off down the sidewalk. I keep a camera in my pocket, and the one little girl on the left, her feet are even touching the ground. I love that photograph. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hi, Sharon. I'm a fangirl. Okay, I'll turn my mic off now.
Great. Thank you so much. Other photographers who were featured in the video, if you all would like to share a little bit about your photo. I think, Yulia, you're here.
Yes. I'm trying. There you go. You guys can see my fridge in the back, so I'm sorry. That's the best angle in my house. You know, definitely very honored to be a part of this slideshow. I think like I've been posting on Instagram for a few years, but I would say this is the first time I'm part of something this big, so it's very exciting. So thank you again. Actually, the picture was taken very like shortly ago, like in April, and I had just had surgery a few weeks before that, so I wasn't able to drive myself. And I've been begging my friend for like a week to come pick me up, which I live in Fairfax, by the way, Virginia. So he had to come pick me up and then take me to DC because I'm like, I'm obsessed with taking pictures of DC. I need something new. So he already was prepared because we were literally stopping at every corner. And I actually saw first a house that I wanted to take a picture of. But once I turned around and I saw, you know, the beautiful tulips against like the Capitol, I said, I just had to take that. I was there maybe for 20 minutes. I took maybe 30 different shots before I got to what I liked. But obviously with amazing photographers as are here, I know you guys know the struggle. So that was kind of the story of it. But thank you so much again. I really appreciate this.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing.
Of course.
Any of the other photographers would like to share? I just add a little note that it was interesting when the exhibit started, it was spring. So we had a lot of photos coming in of the cherry blossoms and tulips. And, you know, as you could see in the slideshow, we're also not only seeing all the flowers, but still as we're emerging from the pandemic, people still have the masks on. And so it's definitely quite a difference from the exhibit that Sarah walked us through, and seeing some of the photos from the past month or so. It kind of shares what's going on right now in DC. So that was exciting to kind of compare, you know, over 40 years and also what's happening now. And that was the main goal of the slideshow, is to feature some of the things that are going on. Any other tips that photographers would like to share with anyone tonight that's here? let's see, I think we saw some comments here, and then we do have a guest video from Austin Graff. Some of you all may be following him on Instagram. He wasn't able to be with us tonight, but he did share a video with some photo tips that he has. And so we're gonna, Sarah, we could go ahead and watch that video, and then if there's any other photographers who'd like to share, we can go to that. I can attempt to share again, or if you'd like, you can. Either way.
I'm not sure I have that one. Why don't you
Okay,
try?
let me see if it works for me this time. Just a second. Okay, let's see. You guys see my screen right now?
If I could make a suggestion, you might start your program first from your computer and then hit the share button on the program we're watching here.
That's a great idea. Let me do that. Great. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can share right here. Let's see if this works. Can you guys see my screen?
You have to open your program first. You gotta start your show and then hit share on this. But first, start your program on your computer, and then you should have a second screen with us, and there you hit share, and that's when it should come up for everybody.
Okay, got it. So
Also,
looks
I
like
have it
it's-
up. Okay, I have it up too, so let me know if you want me to try it.
Yeah, go ahead. That sounds good.
And you gotta learn.
Yes.
Roshini, do you want to stop sharing yours and then I'll try to share this? Sharon, give me a thumbs up if you're seeing this screen with the man's face on it. Okay, here we go.
Turn your sound up, Sarah. Turn up your volume.
We can't hear anything, Sarah. You may have to start it again.
And there's a drag. Reboot.
Right.
This is science fiction.
Sorry, everyone. That's probably why I wasn't sharing to begin with.
I'm not sure. Sharon's making this very enjoyable for me right now, though.
Sarah,
All
this
right,
is
hold
Patrick. Okay.
Patrick?
Yeah, I was gonna walk Roshni through the process. I think there's a better way to share it. If she can hear me after this.
It looked like I saw that there was a low bandwidth notification on her video, so I'm not sure if she's having a little bit of connectivity issues at the moment.
Okay,
there's
so I
basically
think I'm back online. Let's see if the sharing works now.
Okay, there's actually a file where you can share the file. I can walk you through. That's actually the better way.
Sure.
So you have the share button at the bottom, is that right?
Yes.
When you click on that, you scroll, like there's a little window that pops up, right? And
Yes.
there's one at the very left that says share file. So can you click on that?
Oh, I think I'm sharing again now. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I give it a try?
Okay.
Yes.
No.
Are you getting sound?
No.
No.
I-
Do we know for sure that the video has sound itself?
Yes,
It
yes,
does.
yes.
Just
Yeah,
It
check
definitely
before
does.
we.
if we can do it
Okay,
from
let me try again.
It's a little jerky. I think the bandwidth is an issue.
But
Science fiction.
I can try to walk you through this again, Roshan, if you want.
Sure.
So click on the share button.
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, and then when you scroll, you have to scroll from that little window, right? And there's a share file.
Yes, I see
So
that.
click on, yeah, and then you're gonna have to find the folder where it's on your computer.
I have it right here, but it's not allowing me to click on share file. That's the problem.
Why don't we
Again,
move on, and I'm gonna try to save it to my computer so that I can share it in a few moments.
great. Thank you.
So I'll do that, and you can carry on.
Great. So let's see. I'm going to try one other option here. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen now? Yes.
Yes.
You can. How about now?
Yes.
Hasn't
Great.
changed.
My name's Austin, and I'm a community manager of a group.
Oh, but we don't see the video. We can
No, we
hear
can
it
hear it.
just fine.
Okay. So you can't see the video even though I'm sharing. Got it.
Yeah, we just saw
Wow,
your
the joys of
screen.
technology.
Yeah, we could see your screen with the invitation, but not him. But we
Okay.
heard him.
Hear it.
I think what I'm going to do, Patrick, can I send you the video?
Smart.
You can. It might take some time for me to download, especially
Okay.
on this server here at the office.
Okay, no problem. We'll
I'm gonna
continue on.
Roshni, I'm gonna do one last try, and then if this doesn't work, we'll move on, okay? Because I just
Perfect.
did one different thing.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience as we work through these technical difficulties.
Nope, no luck.
Okay, we tried. Let's go ahead and we'll come back to that at the end if we have time. And let's go ahead and go on to the presentations by the organizations that we have joining us today. So we, as Sarah mentioned, we all are so lucky to have such wonderful photography organizations in DC. Focus on the Story, as Sharon was mentioning earlier, Expose DC, IGDC, and what POW DC. So I just wanted to shine a spotlight on some of these organizations and then give them a chance to share what they're working on so other photographers can get involved with their organization and participate in upcoming events. So let's go ahead and start with Expose DC.
All right, and I am unmuted. I did it, guys. I'm Noe Todorovich, and I'm the executive director of Expose DC, and I'm very thankful to you all for attending this and also for the opportunity to just share a little bit about the organization and to take part of this and see all the great photos both in the exhibit as well as that were shared through Instagram. I'm going to pause real quick just to make sure everyone can hear me okay and that I'm not breaking up or anything. So
yes, we can hear you great and see you.
Thank you for the thumbs up. All right. So Expose DC is a local nonprofit that connects photographers of all levels with networking, mentoring, and exhibition opportunities. And we partner with organizations to strengthen and cultivate the local photography community. So we are partnering with Focus on the Story, as well as some other local organizations. Like, we love collaborating and working together to just make the photography community here even more vibrant. Speaking of, the next slide, since 2006, we have produced the annual Exposed DC Photography Show with a contest that begins in December and an exhibition featuring the winning images the following spring. Now, you guys are in luck because the show is much later than usual this year, and it's actually coming up on Sunday, June 6th. We'll have the opening, and this is a partnership with Focus on the Story and Lost Origins Gallery, which is doing an outside exhibition on the alley next to Ellie restaurant in Mount Pleasant. So it's going to be part of the kickoff for the 4th annual Focus on the Story International Photo Festival. And we're really excited about it. It's going to be very different from our usual shows, but I think very appropriate for the current times and being able to have a show and have the photos visible outside. And so it'll be, you don't have to worry about limited gallery hours and you can come by and see it whenever, but please come to the opening so that we can see you and say hello. And if you would like to get involved, we have 3 main ways. You can submit photos. We have a group on Flickr that was much more popular back in the day when Exposed DC was first started. I think things have kind of gone more to Instagram, and we are on there as well. So on Instagram, you can use the hashtag ExposedDC. On Flickr, you can just search for Exposed DC as the group. The second thing you can do is sign up for our newsletter, because that's where we'll share all photography news and events that both are run by us as well as things from other organizations. And so we try to particularly focus on local photography events, but also general interesting photography news. And then if you really want to get involved, you can volunteer with us and be part of our awesome team of volunteers, and we can discuss ways and ideas that you might have for getting involved with us. So that's all I've got. And on here you can see our different social media links in our website, and I'll drop it in the chat as well. So thank you again for letting me be part of this, and thank you to Focus on the Story for an exciting partnership.
Thank you so much. Any questions about Exposed DC before we can go to the next organization? IGDC, Holly.
Hi, everyone. I share those sentiments. Thank you so much for having us join this great event. And it was so awesome to see the photos that people were sharing. IGDC is actually celebrating our 10th year this year. We started as a social experiment. We just tried to get people out and exploring the city with their cameras. And it sort of just snowballed into this beautiful community of photographers who learn from one another, share experiences together, and then experience each other's lenses after they go home and get to look at everything via hashtags. So we, on a normal year, we hold a lot of Insta meets around town, and the goal is just to get people out of their houses with their cameras with a group of people. So, you know, if you're a little nervous about exploring with a camera, you can join us and, you know, collaborate together, just be a part of a community that has the same likes as you do. And so we're hoping to have some Insta meets scheduled very soon once all the restrictions are lifted. So we would love to see people join us on those. We also share photographers' work every day via a daily feature on our Instagram account. And yeah, we really just cherish a community environment, and we appreciate everybody's willingness to come out and share and collaborate together through camaraderie. And we've grown substantially in the last 10 years, made a lot of really great friendships in a city that's so hard to meet people in. So yeah, we're excited to get back into it and get going again, and we hope to see you all soon. Please join us. And I think there's another slide that shows all of our tags. Yeah, there are tags. We keep a schedule on, oh, echoing. We keep a schedule. Once we start scheduling events, you can find them on our website. Sorry if the echo is me, I don't know. But if you want to get involved, you just post photos to Instagram and hashtag IGDC. I'm looking through those photos daily, hourly, every day. If nothing else, it's a great resource just to see what's happening in DC and the surrounding area, as other people are enjoying them. So it's a good planning tool as well. So anyway, we would love to have you join us, and thank you again for having us participate in this event.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you want to share the link to the IGDC website here in the chat, that would be great. And let's continue.
Hi, everybody. I'm Emily Whiting. I'm a board member at Photoworks at Glen Echo Park. I'm going to have give Sophie McDowell a chance to talk to you about our programs, but I just wanted to thank you for organizing this event. It's really fun to be able to meet all of these people who are approaching our photography community from different angles, and I really have loved all of the collaboration with these different organizations. Focus on the Story is going to be fantastic this year. And in thinking about this particular event, I just wanted to say that Photoworks was founded sort of informally 45 or almost 50 years ago at Glen Echo Park. And 3 of the women who were part of that original group of photographers have been part of our organization for the duration of our time in DC. And I just wanted to give a shout out to them because they've influenced my interest in photographing in Washington, DC, and they've nurtured a lot of photographers. They are Rhoda Bear, who was one of the founders of Photoworks. She photographed a lot of movers and shakers in DC before she became a glass artist. Our director of exhibitions is Gail Rothschild. She has done some tremendous work around C&O Canal and doing these large scale black and white film photographs of our natural environment. And Karen Keating's our executive director, and Karen has done beautiful work around photographing DC monuments, including infrared projects. And so anyway, since we're talking about women photographing DC, before Sophie talks about our programs, I just wanted to mention those 3 women because they've definitely influenced me and many other photographers who've been involved at Photoworks. So go ahead, Sophie.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Sophie McDowell. Thank you, Emily, for those words. I'm the communications director at Glen Echo Photoworks. And to kind of hop on what Emily was saying, we are a photography collective within the Glen Echo Park, and we were launched nearly 50 years ago. We offer classes for photographers at all levels if you're interested in taking classes with us. You can find an array of classes, workshops, and camps for children's, teens, and adults. One interesting thing about us is that our darkroom is one of the only darkrooms in the DMV that is open to the public. Please go on our website and reach out to us if you'd like to use the darkroom at any point. There's a great community like this photographer that you see here on this slide who meet up every Tuesday and get together. And at Photoworks, we are passionate about historical alternative photography processes as well as digital photography. So there's definitely a place for you here, whichever realm of photography you're in. And our gallery space regularly holds exhibitions. Most of them, or all of them, have been online since COVID, but we're really looking forward to the exhibitions that we'll have in the fall that will hopefully be in person. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is our photo slam that's coming up. You may have heard of poetry slams, but we bring to you Photo Slam, and we're partnering with Focus on the Story. We're part of that kickoff event on June 6th. This will be our 8th Photo Slam since 2012, and it'll be our first one that's online, but hopefully it'll be semi-hybrid, and we'll have judges coming to you live from Mount Pleasant. And so basically photographers will send in their 5 best photos, and the top 3 winners of the night will hold an exhibit of their work at the Photoworks gallery. And so we urge you all to submit your 5 photos. They don't have to belong to any particular theme. The night is hosted by Reggie Cabico, who is an award-winning slam poet. Also, Joe Newman will be one of our judges, and he's here today, and he's from Focus on the Story. Our 2 other judges are Sophia Sebastian. She is a documentary and street photographer. And our final judge is Shedrick Pelt, and he's a live music photographer. So please tune into this event on June 6th. Each photo submitted will be rated by our judges, and the top 3 winners of the night, like I said, will hold an exhibit at Photoworks. And so we're really excited for this evening. It should be really dynamic and energetic, and we're really thrilled to see everybody's work. So lastly, a few ways to get connected with us. Each month we have free coffee and critiques. They have been online since COVID, and they will be online until further notice. But it's a Zoom event that we host on one Sunday of every month, and it's a safe space to share images with other photographers. Our executive director, Karen Keaton, who is an amazing photographer, she leads these meetings, and it's a great way to meet people within the photography community and to be inspired by others in the photography community. And we also have some upcoming exhibitions and calls for submissions that you all can apply for. But I really urge you to apply for the Photo Slam and to send in your 5 photos. And lastly, we have a variety of classes that you can take with us and our great faculty. And so please reach out to us if you have any questions or want to be more involved. We're really active on Instagram and Facebook, and you can check our website for more information. Thank you so much to everyone involved with our city ourselves, and thank you for having us today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we got a question. Can anyone submit photos to the Photo Slam? What are the guidelines?
That's right. Anybody can submit photos. There is a $25 fee, but anyone can submit photos, and I can send the link in the chat to the registration.
Awesome. Can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Let's continue. Ryan.
Oh, is it me already? All right. So I'm no public speaker, but seeing Sharon in the crowd here has definitely made me nervous. But so a little bit about DCSUC. Actually, wait, sorry. I should thank everyone, including Roshani and Sarah, everyone at the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities for having me. And so let's see. Let's pull my notes here. So the DCSBC, we just had a birthday recently. We're 3 years old. As we started in May of 2018. And so the DCSBC, which stands for the DC Street Photography Collective, it has 2 main facets, one being the collective side and the other being the community side. So the collective side is basically a group of dedicated street photographers from the DMV area. And we're dedicated on creating photos in public spaces, and particularly candid photos, so street photography. You know, everyone has an equal say in the collective. We make decisions collectively, and we decide what we're going to do each year. Last year, we made a photo book, and I think we had around 200 copies or so, and that was pretty incredible. That sold out in under a week, I think, before we even got to orders. All the pre-orders were sold. And we also serve as, you know, kind of like like a support group, a photography support group for each other. So, if I'm trying something new or something like that, I know that I can always go to, for example, Sophia Sebastian, who's going to be one of the judges at the Glen Echo Photoworks competition. So, yeah, so let's see. Every week we meet and we discuss, and that's all been on Zoom, obviously, because of the world, how it is now. But hopefully we're getting out of that soon. And that brings me to the next aspect or facet of DCSBC, which is the community side. And we will, assuming the world is normal, we will typically hold everything from photo walks to artist talks. Sharon, we'd love to have you as a special guest, please. Photo critiques, funky dance parties with a photo slideshow in public, and let's see. So actually, I think Roshani, we had that's where we had met at Slash Run. I think it was at one of those events. So I think when you were there, maybe it was for Darrow Montgomery. He was a special
Yeah,
guest.
that's the event I was at. This
Yeah.
was before the pandemic.
Yeah,
It was a
before-
very packed house at the Slash and Run in Petworth.
Yeah, thinking about it gives me anxiety now. I need wide open spaces. But yeah, so that's what we're about. Basically, anyone can get involved, and we implore everyone to come out. Actually, we have an event, and let me just pull this up. We have an event. We're partnering with Focus on the Story, and we're going to be doing a photo walk on June 6th that will start at DuPont Circle and end at Ellie's Restaurant for that kickoff exhibition. So that would be from 1:30 p.m. to 3, where we'll end there in that's Mount Pleasant. A little bit about this event, just in case you're curious. Join members of the DC SBC and other DC street and others in the DC street community as we traverse the intricacies of DuPont Circle, Colorama, Adams Morgan, and finally Mount Pleasant, ending at the restaurant for Exposed DC's photography exhibition from 3 to 6. So yes, please get involved. I'll put some links down. I accidentally sent one earlier, but I'm going to send these links now. Anyone can get involved. It doesn't matter, if you're shooting with a phone or, you got a $10,000 Hasselblad or whatever. Please, anyone is coming, and anyone can come that wants to come can come. And even if you're shooting with a phone, which is what a lot of people are doing nowadays, and actually one of our members, Ashley Tillery, shoots almost exclusively with a phone, and her work, is incredible to say the least. But and she's also an incredible woman street photographer, which is awesome. But actually, and we were looking at the exhibition, and her work actually kind of echoes, or maybe it's the other way around, Peggy Fleming's work. That closeness in the photos. So yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of camera you have. It's the person behind the lens, and we look forward to seeing you out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think we have some questions for you here. How can we see Ashley's work?
I just muted myself again accidentally. So you can see Ashley's work on the Instagram. She has her own website, and you can find the links to her portfolio if you just click on that link, thedcsbc.com. Oh, hi. Oh, I thought that was yeah. That's her Instagram there, DesCry88. But she also has a website, and you can find that on the photographers page of thedcsbc.com.
Great. Thank you so much. Excited to participate in the photo walk as we emerge from the pandemic and still wearing masks, but that's okay.
Yes, please come to the photo walk. We'd be happy to have you.
Awesome. Okay. Wapow, DC.
I think Jacqueline is here.
Hi,
Hello.
Jacqueline. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So
Just cut out, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, are you there? Maybe we should, oh. I see you, Jacqueline, but now you're muted.
yeah, I'll be right back. I don't remember the code.
Jacqueline, if the video is too much, you're welcome to call in as well.
Should we go to focus on the story and then come back?
Yes, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
Okay, can I go?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Joe Newman, the founder and president of Focus on the Story. As you've heard tonight from all of our friends, Focus on the Story is a month-long celebration of photography in the city of DC and the surrounding areas. We are in our 4th year, and our mission is to celebrate the many genres and the diverse field of photography that we have in this city. And it's just exciting and wonderful to be part of it, and it's and to share the stage with these folks tonight. And thank you, Sarah and Rashani and the commission for putting this together and doing all the events during the month. And I think it's wonderful, and I think it really just shines a light on what the city has to offer. So we love it, and our mission is to really celebrate diversity in the city, to give to make photography accessible. And if there's any, I don't know if there's any silver lining in this this crazy pandemic, it's that it has, just to back up, we're in our 4th year. 2 years ago in 2019, we had the idea to try to create a month-long celebration of photography. We had a pretty good year in 2019 and had 14 different galleries and venues participating with exhibits in 2019. But in 2020, we had bigger plans, and it all turned virtual. We had to pivot and do our programming virtually. There were no exhibits. We did 17 webinars over the course of 3 months. From April through June, and it was great. We had some great talks. We increased our presence to. We had people from all over the world tuning in to our shows. But as we were planning this year's festival, I couldn't stand the thought of doing another completely virtual festival. So it forced us. The silver lining I was talking about forced us to think about ways to have safe, socially distant events, and we are. I'm happy to announce that we're going to have several outdoor venues this year. We're going to be in the alleyway of Ellie's in Mount Pleasant with that great exhibit of Exposed DC. We're doing the photo walk that Ryan just talked about that morning or that afternoon, ending at the alleyway. I think it's photo walks are something that we can do in a socially distant way, and we're outside, and a lot of us have been vaccinated now, so that's really encouraging. The Photo Slam event that night, we're going to have judges together instead of on Zoom, so it's going to be a little hybrid event. you know, throughout we're starting on June 1st with outdoor projections at the House of Sweden on the Georgetown waterfront. June 18th, we're doing a screening of the movie Punk the Capitol at a new venue called Metro Bar in Northeast DC. So we've got a lot of stuff. Go to focusonthestory.org to check out our schedule of events. We're adding stuff. We're not having most of our talks will be virtual this year. We did it would have been difficult for us to judge back in January and February when we were putting this together whether we could have in-person talks, which we really miss and we hope to get back to next year. But we've got some great talks. India Beale is going to be speaking on June 9th, and she's amazing. If you've heard her talk, or if you haven't, Google her and go check her out. That's going to be a great talk. We just announced today that Sarah Lean, the former director of photography at National Geographic, is going to have a panel of some of the rising stars and women stars in conservation photography. That's going to be a great discussion on June 23rd. And, June 4th, there's going to be a show at exhibit opening at DuPont Underground that celebrates DC's drag community. And June 2nd, Shedrick Pelt, who's a fellow judge for the Photoworks Photo Slam, he's going to be having a projection of Black Lives Matter photos in Adams Morgan at Spacey Cloud. So come out, bring your mask, participate in all our events. Check our schedule out. Great photographers and great topics, and really just, we're trying to build this. We're trying to get momentum. My email is joe@focusonthestory.org. If you want to get involved, just drop me an email. I'm notorious for not responding promptly, but I will try to respond to everyone that does reach out to me. We could always use some help with our social media, at photographing events, and just hang in with us. This is a wonderful community. So again, thank you for having me tonight, and I hope to see everyone out there, both virtually and in person, perhaps. We're really just trying to build this into an really a world-class photo festival, and hopefully we can continue to grow the community here in DC as well.
Thank you so much, Joe. We're all excited about the
Can I say one more thing?
Of course.
I completely forgot. We are also awarding a grant. It's called the Emerging Storytellers Grant, and we are awarding $2,000 and a Fujifilm X-T4 gear package to one photographer. And in past years, we've given $2,000 grants and awards to photographers, and they've all been for projects that are amazing projects by internationally known photographers who've done work like exposing toxic pollution in Peru, documenting the Rohingya tragedy, and this year we really wanted to focus on community photographers, people who are telling stories in their communities that are impactful and important. And they could be people on this call. If you're on this call and you have an idea that it may be something that is happening on your block with an interesting family, it could be something that just impacts your neighborhood, come to our site, check out our storytelling grant. We definitely are looking for stories that make a community impact, and we're going to give that camera away. But we're not just going to give you money and a camera and tell you to go on your way. We're going to continue to have monthly talks and updates, and the goal is to have a project completed in time for next year's festival so that we can exhibit that project at the 2022 festival. So thank you so much for having me.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Hi, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Joe. Okay. Let's see if we have Jacqueline back. while we're waiting, I think there's a question for you, Joe. What is the grant submission deadline? We can't hear you. We may have to unmute you.
Yes. So I was saying I should know that, but I had to look it up. It's June 18th. Close of business on June 18th. You can find the information on our website. I'm actually going to drop the link to our grant into the chat. So hope to see your work.
Awesome.
Looks like Jacqueline's there.
Hi, is it working now, please God?
Yes, it is. Go
Yes.
ahead.
All right, thank you. I apologize in advance if my 4-year-old barges in here. It's very likely that he will. So sorry for the technical difficulties before. I'm Jacqueline Martin. I am on the board of the Women Photojournalists of Washington, fondly known as WPOW. We are a nonprofit organization whose mission is to support the work of and let the public know about the work of female and female identified photojournalists and visual storytellers in the DC metro area. Whew, sorry, had to give my kid an emergency iPad. I had to run right up the stairs. Okay, so WPOW has a ton of events that we do. We've been around since 2006. I believe we were incorporated a little later on than that. And we have a little over 300 members in the area, including our own Sharon Farmer, who I think I saw on the call. And so we really try to support the work of women photojournalists. And doing that, we have a bunch of things that we do. This past year, most of those things moved virtual. So we have 4 quarterly members meetings a year, and those are really the only events outside of our mentor program that's only open to women and WPOW members. Everything else is really open to the public and to men and allies, and we're really welcome everyone to come to our events. And if you're in the DC area, if like you're visiting, if you know people who are visiting and we have an event, they're always welcome to come. You can just reach out to us. So we have 4 quarterly members meetings, and then we have a mentorship program where we connect kind of seasoned photojournalists with people who are new to the industry. We have, in normal times, a social committee that meets regularly for social gatherings to kind of get to know each other, because as we all know, the photojournalism community is actually a small community, and the more people you know, kind of the more opportunities and doors can open to you. So we try to facilitate that. We also have some educational components, a lot of which are open to everyone. And in the last year, we have started supporting our members by raising funds. Both originally, the fundraising we were doing was to specifically help people who had been impacted by COVID. So a lot of our freelance independent members were really struggling the last year without work and needing help for even basic things like paying their rent. And so we had a fund for that, and we were able to help, I believe, 30 different people through WPOW's own money put forward and fundraising. So thanks to anyone out there who may have helped with that. And then additionally, the NPPA, the National Press Photographers Association, reached out to us, and they asked if there was anything they could do in the wake of the Capitol insurrection to help people working in the DC area get protective equipment that they might need. So that's on this first slide. You can see a bunch of our members wearing like safety helmets and some other security gear. And that was all done by some incredibly generous donations. Don't quote me on this, but I think we ended up raising just over $20,000 through incredible generosity of people. And we were able to help lots and lots of folks get protective gear. And we also have plans in the future. We are hoping to do this once everyone can meet in person again. We're hoping to have some HEFAT type training. So that's what to do if you get tear gas, for example, what to do if like a major protest you're in kind of goes wrong. And so we're wanting to make sure that people are prepared for, the next big thing, because, news is always happening and not everyone has the support of an organization, or if you might be on staff and you've never been sent for this training. And so we want everyone to be prepared to keep themselves safe while shining a light and doing the work that we all think is so vitally important. I can send a couple links to our stuff. We have a meeting upcoming, but it's not been announced yet. But if you follow us on our various social media feeds, you'll be able to see what's upcoming. So I can put a link in there, but I was going to suggest, so our website is womenphotojournalists.org. And we're also on Facebook at this very long link that you see. But you can really find us at WPOW that's and hashtag WPOWDC or just WPOW, but that's also a radio station. So we've finally made it hashtag WPOWDC so that you can see what we're up to. And we love for people in the area, if you hashtag things, your own work on Instagram with hashtag WPOWDC, then our curator takes a look and would like to highlight people's work in our stories. So we really encourage people to do that. So I'll write that do a little hashtag WPOWDC there. Can you guys reach these? Are these clickable links? Should I type them out for you? I'll type them out. Okay, so that's our website. Oops, and then
yeah, we can definitely, and we'll share these afterwards as well with all the attendees. So
yeah, I think I have to do
no,
it. Yeah, and so
that's
I hope I've hit the major salient points, and I'd be happy to take questions. We it's really been a privilege to not work with WPOW because we're all volunteers, but to be a member of WPOW, to give back to the community. And then we've also started a recent an inclusion initiative to try to make sure that women of color who are new to the industry can meet who they need to meet and get their work shown. And so we're trying to do that. Oh, and then really wonderfully, which I forgot to mention, we have an annual portfolio review and seminar that takes place in the winter, and this past year's was virtual. We had fabulous attendance, which was amazing. We weren't sure what would happen with it all being virtual, and it worked out amazing through the hard work of our volunteers. But next winter, we hope to do that again in person, and that's held at the GW Corcoran. So we encourage everybody, no matter your level of experience, to attend that event next winter. And you can see, we'll post about that on our Facebook page as that next one is announced.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I'm glad that the tech stuff was worked out and you're able to join us. And we only have 6 minutes left. Patrick, I'm going to turn it over to you and see if you're able to share the video from Austin. And let's see if...
Let's give it a try.
Great.
Bear with me here.
Sure. And as Patrick is queuing up the video, one of the questions that I had for all of the organizations and also some of the photographers here is, do you have any tips in terms of sharing work on Instagram in terms of hashtags people should use, popular hashtags for DC? I know IGDC, WPOWDC, Focus on the Story, Expose DC, but other hashtags that you recommend that photographers include when they're sharing their work on Instagram. If you want to chat some of your thoughts here in the chat, that would be great. And then if you have any other photography resources that you'd like to share, feel free to put those in the chat as well.
Roshni, so I'm trying to share the file. I'm getting a message that it says can't share file because this type is not supported.
Okay, no problem. We'll share the link to the video with folks afterwards. Sarah, I want to turn it back over to you because I know we're short on time. We have 4 minutes left. So feel free to, if you have any final remarks or closing remarks.
Thank you. Yeah, so Jacqueline's asking in the chat, do you want us to share in the chat or by speaking? It looks like people are dropping these hashtags in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and do that, that would be great. Patrick, I'm hoping we can save the chat so that we can share all these resources. And we do plan to follow up with everyone who's here tonight and everyone who registered to share all these resources. It's so incredible. It's inspiring to hear from photographers who are, kind of getting their work out there for the first time, from people from these organizations who are just putting on remarkable events and really building our photo community. I'm happy to have a couple more minutes of conversation. One more thing I just want to mention before we sort of wrap up is that all of the photographs in the exhibition, as we mentioned, are from the Art Bank collection. And I think Vanessa is going to drop in the chat some information. Our grants are open now, and you can submit photographs to our art bank to be acquired into our art bank. And so, yep, they're the CAH current grant opportunities. So I have to plug our own grants as well. But yeah, if anyone has any last kind of words of wisdom about photographing in DC or questions that they would love to hear discussed, please go for it. We still have a few minutes.
One of the questions I had for folks is from the organizations, as we emerge from the pandemic and people are starting to photograph in their neighborhoods, do you all have any recommendations in terms of doing photography post-pandemic in DC?
I think
Brian, I know you
sorry.
talked a little bit about the street photography, but go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, I think just get out there and shoot. I mean, people are starting to come out, and even though it feels a little weird for those of us, I guess, who didn't photograph this year, people are still out there, and they're kind of excited to see folks again. So I think it's a great time to get out there and dust off your meeting strangers skills. And it doesn't have to be scary. Just one picture at a time.
I would also like to recommend, given the COVID season we had to deal with, that was Groundhog Day for me every day. And now that the wonderful cicadas have come, I see science fiction. So because they only come every 17 years, it is a big deal. And therefore we should shoot them like they're tourists in DC. And I think we should have a contest on Cicada the Tourist.
Sharon, that's a great idea. I love it. I was just taking photos of cicadas. So that's a great
Get them at the Lincoln Memorial, get them at the Jefferson, get them everywhere because they're going to be there.
Don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid. They're not going to bite you.
At all.
There's just
They're so
entirely
big to be
too
out.
many of them.
They will
Like
hug
where I
you if they
live.
could.
It's like super wooded around here. Like they've already had to like sweep them away a couple times. It's real. I was gonna say I saw that you snuck one into that slideshow though, Roshani.
Yeah, and we will share the slideshow with folks afterwards. I know there was a question about that as well. So I think, Sarah, we're at time.
Roshani, thank you so much. Thanks to all the presenters. Thanks to everyone who was here tonight, everyone who posted photos during our online photo share. And I look forward to just continuing the discussion and seeing more of your photos. Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
all have a good evening. Thank you, everyone.
Outstanding. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And
Success. Sarah,
I'm still
good
here.
job.
Patrick, can we save the chat?